Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you about options and settings in Power BI Desktop. Before moving further, let me tell you that if you have not looked into my previous video, just go to my channel and have a look into that because that is totally based on the basic features of the Power BI in which I have explained about all the tabs what we have like home, insert, modeling, view, and what all features you have here and how you can use that. So let's move on to the today's session. So I've opened my Power BI desktop in my system, and to access options and settings, we have to go to files. Then here we have options and settings. So just click on that. Under options and settings, we'll be getting options and data source settings. So let's start with the options first. Under options, you'll be getting two different types like global and the current file options. So global options will be there for your Power BI desktop, and this requires only one-time settings, whereas the current file options is only available for the current reports. So let's start with the data load first. Under data load, we have type detections. Under that, you have three different options. Always detect column types and headers for unstructured sources, data column types and headers for unstructured sources according to each file settings, never detect column types and headers for unstructured sources. So under this category, you have the option to select whether you want the Power BI desktop to identify the column headings for your data or not. What I generally do, like I format my all data outside of the Power BI desktop and then only I'll import it into Power BI. That's why I have selected here never detect column types and headers for unstructured sources. Then you have time intelligence options here that will help you to update auto date and time for new files. Then you have data cache management options. You have Q&A cache options. Moving to the next one, you have Power Query Editor. Under Power Query Editor, we have layout that includes display the query settings pane and display the formula bar. Moving next, you have data preview that includes data preview contents using a monospaced fonts, so white space and new line characters. Third is the parameters. Here, that if you checked on that thing, that allows the parameterizations in data source and transformation dialogues. Then you have formula, so that is intelligence in the formula bar. Moving to direct query, you just have the one option, so just leave it. Then you have R scripting and Python scripting. This will be useful only when you are using R and Python for your Power BI desktop. Otherwise, please ignore these things. Then moving on to next, you have security features. This is your default settings, which comes up with your Power Desktop, Power BI Desktop. So first is your native database queries that require user approval for new native database queries. Then you have certificate revocation check, web preview, warning labels, data extensions, custom visuals, ARC, GIS maps for Power BI, and the approved ADFS authentication services. Moving to privacy, you just have three options here. You can select based on your requirement. Then the regional settings, here you can select the application language using this drop down box. You have different languages to sit for the Power BI desktop. Then you have model language and query steps. Updates, here no need to do anything, so just leave as it is. Usage data, so this will allow Power BI to send the data usage. And the diagnostics, here you have the options to diagnostics: enable tracing, bypass geocoding, cache dump collections. Then version is nothing, this shows the Power BI desktop version, so I'm using the latest one, that is 2.83.5894.961, and 64-bit is the version which I'm using, and this is the latest one, that's why it's showing as July 2020. Then we have query diagnostics, it enables in report and query editor. Then you have diagnostic levels, aggregated and detailed, and then additional diagnostic options are there, so have this checked. Preview features, this is very much important. If you are ignoring other things, but don't ignore this one, because whenever the Power BI desktop are going to have new features that will come here before as a preview features, and once that is finalized, that will directly come under here your visualizations, if that belong to visualizations, or here in your tabs. So have all this checked if you require, otherwise you can use as per your requirements. So you can see, like, as of now we have these many under preview features for Power BI desktop. Might be these will be coming to the Power BI in future. So there's like shape map, visuals, Spanish language support for Q&A, new web table inference, Q&A for live connected analysis services databases, personalized visuals, store data sets using enhanced metadata format, feature tables, and Azure Map visuals. Then you have the auto recovery. Here, um, as of now, the time is set as 10 minutes. So if you want, you can increase or you can decrease the timing. So that totally depends upon you. Then you have the keep the last audio recovery versions if I close without saving. So if you select this one, then if your Power BI desktop get closed due to some error or that gets corrupted, then that when you'll be opening the Power BI desktop next time, you'll be getting the option to recover the previous data. So if you click on yes, that will get recovered. Then next is your report settings. So you have visual options like display smart guides when visuals are aligned, then accessibilities. So click on always in Power BI desktop with improved narrative support, then page alignment. Either you can select for the align the page to the top of the wallpaper, or you can select the align the page in the center of the wallpaper. So these are your the global settings, global options, which requires only one-time settings to use in Power BI desktop. So moving on to the next head, that's the current file. So this is totally applicable for the current file. Like if you're preparing some dashboard in Power BI, these settings will totally depend for that particular dashboard. So whenever you're going to create a new one, again, you have to go to current file and you have to change the settings as per your requirements. So let's have a look into that. First is data load. You can select different options under that. So it's type detections, relationships, time intelligence, background data, parallel loading of tables and Q&A. Then regional settings you have, nothing but the languages, privacy, you have two options, auto recovery you have, direct query, query reductions, and the report settings. So my friends, these are the options available under option feature in the Power BI. So let's move on to the other one, that is data source settings. So under data source settings, this will help you if whenever you are importing your data from different sources, you have the options to either change the data source, edit permissions, or clear permissions. As of now, I don't have any data source here. That's why all these are grayed outs. Just like to mention before that, if you have already prepared some database, some dashboard in Power BI, and you have changed your path, in that case, you have to go to data source settings, change sources, and you have to update the new one. That's why whenever you click on refresh, that your all the visualizations will get updated. So that's it for today's video. If you like my video, please do subscribe, like, and share so that this will reach to more audience, and stay tuned for my next video. Till then, thank you.